We've all heard some wild and quirky facts about animals that make us say, wait, is that really true? Like, come on, ostriches bury their heads in the sand. That's one of the most common myths out there. And goldfish only remember things for 3 seconds? Please. This one has been debunked so many times. But how much of what we think we know is fact, and how much is pure fiction? It's time to find out. Get ready because we're diving headfirst into the world of animal myths and separating fact from fiction. This is the Fact Factory, where we unravel the truth about the animal kingdom, one myth at a time. Okay, let's start with a classic. The myth that goldfish have a 3-second memory. You know, like that friend who forgets your birthday every year. Except it's a tiny fish. But guess what? This one's totally bogus. Goldfish actually have a pretty impressive memory span of up to 5 months. That's right, 5 whole months. These little guys are way smarter than we give them credit for. In fact, scientists have discovered that goldfish can even be trained to perform tasks. We're talking recognizing colors, pushing levers, and even remembering feeding times. Who needs a watch when you have a goldfish, right? So, next time you look at a goldfish, just remember, they're smarter than you think. And they might even be judging your outfit. Just kidding. Maybe. All right, let's talk about bats. These fascinating creatures have been the subject of myths and legends for centuries. Now close your eyes and picture a bat. What comes to mind? What do you see? A creepy, dark creature with no eyes, right? Maybe even a vampire bat from a horror movie? But seriously, the idea that bats are blind is so far from the truth. It's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Not only can most bats see just fine, but some of them even have excellent night vision. They are true masters of the night. While they do use echolocation to navigate and hunt in the dark, they're far from blind. Echolocation is just an added bonus. Like Spider-Man, but with sound waves instead of webs. It's truly remarkable. But unlike Spider-Man, they also have perfectly good eyes. They can rely on both sight and sound. So, next time someone says blind as a bat, you can tell them the truth. Bats can see you, and they see you very well. Okay, this next one always makes me laugh. It's a classic misconception that's been around for ages. The image of an ostrich with its head buried in the sand is practically a meme at this point. You see it everywhere, from cartoons to social media. But in reality, ostriches don't bury their heads at all. It's a myth debunked by scientists. What they're actually doing is checking on their eggs or digging small holes to store them. It's part of their natural behavior. It's like their version of a nesting instinct, ensuring their offspring are safe. And when danger comes, instead of sticking their heads in the sand, these giant birds can run at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. That's like cheetah speed. So much for hiding, right? They are more about action than avoidance. They're basically the Usain Bolt of the bird world, with their impressive speed and endurance. They're out there living their best life, running free and facing their fears head-on. It's a lesson we can all learn from. Chapter 4. Dogs see the world in color, sort of. Okay, dog lovers, it's time to address a common misconception about our furry friends. While it's true that dogs can't see the full spectrum of colors like humans, they definitely see more than just black and white. Think of it this way. Their vision is similar to a person who's colorblind. That means they can see shades of blue and yellow but struggle with red and green. So, no, your dog probably can't appreciate the vibrant red of a fire hydrant. But hey, they make up for it in other ways. Dogs rely more on their incredible sense of smell than their vision. That's why they sniff everything. They're basically walking, barking noses. So, even though they might not appreciate a sunset in all its colorful glory, they know exactly where you left that treat. And that's all that really matters, right? Chapter 5. Frogs and Warts. A hopping mad myth. Okay, let's talk about frogs. Those cute little amphibians that hop around and make you scream when you least expect it. But did you know that there's a myth out there that touching a frog will give you warts? Warts are actually caused by a human virus called HPV, not by touching animals. The bumpy skin on toads can look a bit like warts. So, feel free to hang out with those amphibians, wart-free. Just maybe don't kiss one hoping it'll turn into a prince. Chapter 6. Camel Humps. Not for water storage. Let's journey into the desert and talk camels. Specifically, those magnificent humps. Now, we've all heard that camels store water in their humps, right? Wrong! What they're really storing in their humps is fat, not water. They can break down this fat into energy when food and water are scarce, which is super helpful when you're trekking through the desert. So while camels can go for days without drinking, it's their ability to conserve water throughout their body, not their humps, that keeps them going in the desert heat. Chapter 7. Shark Senses. Debunking the Super Sniffer. All right, folks, it's time to talk about sharks. Those majestic creatures of the deep that also happen to be the stars of many a summer blockbuster. One of the most persistent myths about sharks is that they can smell a drop of blood from miles away. While it's true that sharks have an incredible sense of smell, they can't detect a drop of blood from miles away. Sharks can sense tiny amounts of chemicals in the water, but only if they're relatively close, within a few hundred meters, not miles. Chapter 8. Bulls and Red. It's not what you think. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about bulls. Those powerful animals are often depicted as seeing red and charging headfirst into danger. But here's the thing. Bulls actually respond to movement, not color. When a matador waves a red cape, it's the motion that triggers the bull's aggression. So, it turns out that red isn't as dangerous as we thought. It's all about the movement. So there you have it. Some of the most famous animal myths debunked. From goldfish memory to those colorblind canines, we've tackled them all. Next time someone tells you a wild fact about animals, channel your inner detective and think of, you'll know what's true and what's pure fiction. Who knew learning about animals could be so fun, right? Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment about your favorite animal myth, and subscribe for more mind-blowing truths. Until next time, stay curious.